So how do you position those brands to take advantage of what we see in the future as, I just want in my mailbox something that's about me, but at the same time it can't be just so specific that you don't introduce that consumer to other products or other parts of that advertiser's product mix. So how do you do that, Alexander? How do you do that when you're talking to that top 1.1%, but you want to find new customers in there as well?
Yeah, I mean, we have a sort of our own version of a cobbled together algorithm, not Google style, but where we try and understand the individual from as many different angles as possible. So for us, it's all about meaningful interaction. We're not looking to just sort of be in the mix of luxury. We're looking for that moment where we can have a qualified conversation with somebody. So, clients come to us very specifically for that. So the personalization is very thinly sliced for us. It's not as good as just simply putting the name of the end user on a sweater and sending it to them. It's understanding the mindset, understanding the opportunity to have a qualified conversation, and where. It's intrusive to suddenly run up to someone in the middle of a golf game and introduce a brand. But on the other hand, there's a moment where you can come up and say, well, let me introduce you, or let me share an experience or something. So there are very interesting sort of moments. If I can just touch on the last question you asked as well, which is very interesting for us as well. I think the innovation in the marketing world and the sort of blurring of lines between traditional PR and events and advertising and branding has been a very interesting effect with the onset of social media, because of course you're figuring out not only content but conversation. And I think what we have found is that the traditional silo of marketing dollars that had been allotted to sort of traditional, quote unquote, traditional advertising has been a little bit more elastic in definition, and therefore what might be perceived as a new business venture, or what might be perceived as what may have 5 years ago been put into sort of brick and mortar expansion may now be put into sort of brand partnerships. And so there's an interesting conversation to be had with the C-suite of a lot of brands, where you can start talking about innovation not purely from the creative execution, but also from the mindset of what is marketing, which is kind of interesting.